Jimbo Fisher's firing and contract and payoff has pulled the curtain back on one of the grossest, if not the grossest parts of college football. I come from, at one time in my life, I was there. I played at a football factory. I know what it's like in big money college football, even bigger money now than when I played. But I get it. You're recruited. You're told you're the greatest ever. You are treated like a king. You are given every single thing you want as a coach and athlete at a football factory. You are trained in a Taj Mahal. You eat in a Taj Mahal. You are basically segregated from the rest of the students in general. I know how it works. It's not healthy. It's really not. It is not a healthy operation. So in some weird way, I'm glad the curtain is pulled back. I mean, I think people need to hear and see this stuff, and it's good reporting. So just to be clear, it's not that many of us, I won't say any of us, because maybe some people are. It's not that any of us are against somebody getting paid and paid well and getting rich. Not even against getting rich. Getting rich in an industry where I find it weird that everyone pretends as if so much money is made by everybody in college football, and it's really not. It's not. But everybody acts like there is. They spend like there is. So most of us are not against, when you're the top 1% in your field, you should get rich. You really should, even if it's something as unimportant as coaching football or being a talk show host. If you're among the very best, you should get rich. Got it. What's insane and what's healthy now about the curtain being pulled back on the Jimbo Fisher firing and how much money was spent for the guy to get fired doing a lousy job is that it's insane for getting set and rich for life. Your grandkids getting rich for life when you suck. It's a screwed up model. And A&M took already a screwed up model. I'm a big fan of models, okay? Business models. It's a screwed up model that Texas A&M took and put it on steroids. I mean, they just blew the model up. It was a bad model to begin with. It's an absolutely ridiculous setup in college sports. And I can tell you a story about how a friend of mine, an agent, played some of these college people. And those fools went for it every time. So A&M took already a bad and upside down model and put it on steroids with Jimbo Fisher's deal. There's no turning back, by the way, because here's the thing. There's no turning back because there's no appetite to turn back. That is really amazing to me. It is. There is no appetite to turn back. There's no appetite to stop the obscene spending. There's really not. And I don't understand that. I don't. So I'm not sitting here pretending that I'm going to lecture someone and it's all going to change. I don't believe that for a second until the faculty and students and the people that really matter at A&M or any other football factory, until they say this is obscene and it's enough. No, it won't stop at all. Because athletics operates separate to the school. They don't even pretend to be a part of the school. So what is amazing here is there's not any more outrage from the people that matter most on campus. I haven't heard much. Maybe there's a comment or two here and there, but it's not as loud as you would think. There's mostly silence on this, but good reporting, just so I can force it on you. Because it's such an upside-down model. It doesn't matter if you're a football fan or not. I mean, in fact, it's better that you're not. ESPN, really good reporting today. Texas A&M's record $76 million contract buyout for fired football coach Jimbo Fisher accounts. Now, listen to some of these numbers. All right? The payout accounts for more than half of the $146 million Power 5 schools owe to fired head football coaches since the start of the 2022 season. $146 million for doing a bad job in 1 year. Now, granted, he's a lot of it, but he's not the only one. For doing a bad job. These are not people getting severance because it's time to just step down. They're doing a bad job. Fisher's buyout is nearly triple the highest known coaching contract buyout at a public school. I also think that's important. The previous record was set by Auburn's 2020 buyout of football coach Gus Malzahn. That was $21.7 million. That's nothing now, right? According to an ESPN analysis of athletic department financial records and contracts, Power 5 and Group of 5 programs spent more than $533 million in dead money. That's money owed to coaches who were fired without cause with time left on their contracts. This dates from January 1st of 2010 to January 31 of 2021. So $533 million spent for doing a lousy job, and this is before Jimbo Fisher's deal. I hope you're thinking right now. I hope you're thinking, of those of you in management, surely you're thinking. No one is against, to be clear, if we talk about models, okay? No one is against somebody doing a really good job and earning the business what the business wants, okay? Like I said, you're the top 1%, you should get rich. You're the top 5%, you should probably get rich. Why is the bottom 30% getting rich? Why? What kind of model is that? Maybe even more than the bottom 30%. All right, so here's some of the numbers, some of the obscene numbers. Let's see. Here's one, $15 million for Scott Frost, fired in September of 2022 at Nebraska. $4 million of Herm Edwards, fired at Arizona State. I mean, these are just tiny numbers to put the A&M deal in perspective. Zach Arnett from Mississippi State, who was fired Monday after A&M beat them, was given $4 million. So Texas A&M is going to pay Jimbo Fisher $19.2 million within 60 days. Oh my gosh, that's a good 60 days. $7.2 million every year through 2031. How about that? There is no, by the way, there is no offset. Okay? The annual payments start 120 days after termination. That is a good Christmas. But Jeff, what do you mean, but Jeff? Listen, college sports, it seems to me, is a lot like Congress. A lot. They'll spend it all so they can then ask for more. What's amazing is they keep getting it. They'll spend it all. They don't operate efficiently. It's just not efficient industries. This is nothing like how anybody in a successful place would operate. So they'll spend it all so they can ask for more. Now, the argument, I have no problem getting this. The argument is this. But Jeff, if these football-obsessed programs didn't spend this kind of money, then they can't make that kind of money. They have to spend a lot to make a lot. And you know what? There's not a whole lot of evidence when it comes to paying coaches that is true. That's not really backed up by much. In fact, it usually is just the opposite of that. Most recent gigantic contracts, these are close to $100 million or more. And I'm not pretending that we don't get more of them. If Texas makes a Final Four, that guy will get $100 million. But if you just look at the most recent gigantic contracts, Jimbo Fisher, 0 titles, not even close to a title. You know that stuff. It was a flame out. Mel Tucker at Michigan State got something like $92 million. He didn't win anything. He didn't beat Michigan, didn't beat Ohio State. He got fired for harassing a woman with phone sex. Lincoln Riley, who's a $100 million plus coach at USC, they've yet to play an ounce of defense and haven't sniffed the Final Four and won't see it this year. So I don't know where all this evidence is that if you don't do this, your program's going to fall apart. If you don't do this, you won't take the next leap. So let's maybe try some role playing here as management. Good management, as you know, is give people what they need, get out of their way, and let them succeed. I said succeed. The difference between the college game and the NFL is the NFL is well run. The NFL knows its model. The NFL maximizes its model. The NFL is efficient. The NFL is about revenues and media contracts. It's really based on market forces. They're all getting rich because they're all getting rich. And they operate it pretty lean. College football has TV contracts, but no NFL owner would run their franchise the way Texas A&M operated. No way. No. First of all, you know what the first piece of evidence is? Nobody would operate that way. Look how many people are on the sidelines. Look how many people there are. Look what happened in Michigan. They had so many people they allegedly can't keep up with some of them. Nobody that would run a successful model would operate this way. These coaches come in, and because it's a blank, because they're like Congress, it's like a blank check. They just go hiring everybody. There's so many people. Nobody would operate this way, just in terms of how bloated these operations are. And it's top-heavy, incredibly top-heavy. The money flows to coaches instead of the talent. It's just the opposite of the NFL, colleges. It's just the opposite of every form of the entertainment business that I know of. Talent wins. Talent gets rich. Talent's the audience. College football, the model of college football in its excess is like the model of public education. The money flows the wrong way. I mean, the teachers don't get it. The VPs get it. And no, as many of you know, no operation runs well with a bunch of VPs. The money just flows the wrong way. So what's the solution? I know you're going to say, well, so what? Nothing changes. You're right. I don't even know that you want to change. I don't believe there's an appetite to change. But think about this. Let me just try this with you. Just to point out how asinine Texas A&M Football Inc. was run. And soon someone else will be just as asinine. And wherever you work, your place would shut their doors if you operated like this. Nobody operates a good model like this. So the solution. You get 3-year deals built on incentives. Just like you would follow the NFL's pattern. Well, why give anybody a 10-year contract? Answer me that. I'm not saying why somebody wouldn't take it. This is not Jimbo Fisher's agent's fault. This is not Steve Sarkisian when he gets a next giant deal. It's not going to be his fault. And I'm not blaming them. Any one of us would make sure our grandkids are rich. So, but why? Why give anybody a 10-year contract? Why? Why give somebody at Texas A&M a 10-year contract? Where was Jimbo Fisher going to go? Where? I mean, so when A&M gave him 10 years, what were they faced with? I mean, it's not like it's a bad gig. You know that, right? And most of them are not. You do know that if any one of these athletic directors had any clue whatsoever how the world operates, any one of them would say, I see. Great job, Jimbo. You won 7 games this year. Great. Oh, you want a 10-year deal? Or what? Oh, you're going to go to the NFL? I tell you what, bud, you go take the Giants job right now. Go take it. Knock yourself out. Go ahead. You think he'd walk out that door? Are you kidding me? These college coaches aren't going anywhere. Why are you trapped to hire them and retain them and give them whatever they want for the next decade? Why? You think they're all clamoring to go coach the Cleveland Browns? See how that works out for you. You know what the Cleveland Browns wouldn't do? They wouldn't give you a 10-year deal. No chance. So what's the point? What would have happened? I mean, I'm saying this, we can't go back in time, but I'm just saying looking forward. Think about this for the next guy that's going to knock on that door and maybe right down the street and say, you better give me a 10-year deal. And whatever football factory it is, I mean, these are good jobs, especially at these public universities. You don't pay for anything. Clubs, cars, retirement. I mean, it's the greatest government job you can think of. So I don't know what more these schools owe these coaches. They certainly don't owe them 10 years. And I challenge anyone to tell me why you would do a 10-year deal, the next 10-year deal, the next one after that. Why? They need to tell recruits what? I'm going to suck in 7 years? What would have happened had A&M in any other school, a blue blood football factory school that has the Taj Mahal facilities? And by the way, you need to know this. Pro teams don't have facilities like these college programs. They don't operate that way at all. They don't have $10,000 lockers with helmet heaters. They don't do that stuff at all. They run it well. Nobody in the football business is as over the top as these football factories. Okay? But what would happen if A&M said, great job, another 3-year contract as soon as this one's done? What would happen? Got it? What would happen? If someone had common sense and said, you know what we do? We operate on 3-year deals. If you, sir, can find a 10-year contract, then I guess go get it. What's wrong with that position? Honestly, what's wrong with that position? I'm not saying you don't pay the guy a lot if you want. Make him rich. But no justification. There's no evidence that these long-term contracts do anything for you. And what's funny is, doesn't anyone, they're not stupid people. These are, look, I know people feel like these places exist for football. They exist for faculty and students. They're not stupid. None of them would do this. No way. So who made the argument? Why is the argument for the very next Jimbo Fisher-like deal? And there's plenty coming. Why? What if you say, well, you know what? I guess if somebody's going to offer you, Mr. Fisher, a 10-year deal, I say A&M is a great gig. I think it's a pretty good gig here. You're getting all you want. You're getting rich. You haven't paid for a car since you've been here. You haven't paid for a club membership since you've been here. You have access to the best there is. So we offer 3-year deals, man. If you can find a 10-year deal, then you're going to go do it, I guess. Why would you leave? It's a great gig. We operate on 3-year deals with incentives. If you suck, you get fired. If you do well, you get rich. There, take it. You want to walk? Walk. What's so crazy about that? Really, what's so crazy? How are the 10-year deals working out? All you do is get burned by them. And then go have to ask rich guys for more money. Those rich guys wouldn't operate their business this way. No way. There's no way. The people giving the money to pay off the coach, the people giving the money acting like sugar daddies, would never operate their model this way. And that's not saying people can't get rich. What's amazing is, what justification is there to be stupid? These men, $533 million, have gone to college football coaches that have been fired. Who operates that way? My bigger point is, one, it's a bad practice. I mean, there's no proof that this is working out for anyone. But number two, it's ethically upside down. It's obscene. It's gross. And it's just not a good idea. Now, you would think this is so obscene, this payout and the stories that have come with it are so obscene, that there would be sort of this righteous moment within the industry and they would fix themselves. But the very next, hey, I'm doing a good job, you better pay me or else, that guy, that coach, if they're at the right place with no regard for money, will pay him just like Jimbo Fisher.